I was born in 1947, just after the end of the Second World War, which ended in 1945. And my father was in the armed forces, and he was a sergeant major. He was in the British Commandos, and he worked. All of his war experience was mostly behind enemy lines in Germany, and he was on what was called suicide missions. And they were pretty dangerous missions to be on, and many of his friends were killed. So back at home in Ireland, there was a lot of bombing in Belfast, and many homes and businesses were bombed, and people lost lives, and there was a lot of injuries. And in the country where we lived, everything was in a blackout all over the country. And a blackout means that there were no lights were allowed of any type, including candles.
Including candles?
Including candles. Until they took and with every blind had to be black blinds, and there could not be any light whatsoever that shone through the windows. But if there was no light shone through the windows, then you're allowed to use a hurricane lamp or candles, but no light could come through those blinds. So one night,
why not?
Because what a blackout was to stop the enemy aircraft coming in and seeing lights, and then they would have a place to focus their bombs on when they dropped them, because then they may see one or two lights and they think, well, there's people there. We can bomb. And so, because there wasn't the instruments in aircraft in those years that there is today, so it had to be guided a lot by humans. And so my mother had left her window blind up, and she had some small lights on, candles and hurricane lamps burning in the home. So the police came past, and they were going to take her to jail for treason.
Your mother?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my mother. Because she had left some lights on, and they looked at people who did that as people who were aiding the enemy warplanes and aiding the enemy cause. And my mother pleaded with them and said no, she could not do that because her husband was fighting inside Germany against the Germans. And he was actually an officer in the British Army. And so she convinced them, and they left her, but they told her never ever to leave her window blinds up again with the light on at night. So, and she didn't. And so immediately she took her window blinds, covered them, and turned out the lights.
Stop.
And also she was pretty lonely. And during war years, and she pleaded with my father that she could go and adopt a little baby. And she got this little boy from Belfast, and he was what you call an evacuee. And that means that they were able to take little children from Belfast out into the country to where they could be safe. And my mother took this little boy, and his name was Mervyn. He was my brother. And right after my father got home from the war, then they legally adopted this little boy, Curtis. So, do you like that story? There's about 3 stories in one.
That was all 3 stories?
Pardon?
That was all 3 stories?
Yeah, all 3
You're
stories.
saying that's 3 different stories, all in one big story.
No.
The story about the blackout, and the story about the baby, and I missed the 3rd one.
And
Okay.
war?
And adopting the baby.
And the war, and then okay, so
and
what
then
world event
treason.
affected your family? Put during World War II.
World War II.
My great grandmother adopted a baby.
Yeah, in Ireland.
Mommy, why are you photographing this?
Why am I recording it? Because Grandma's telling interesting stories.
I'm gonna put my hand and show the picture.
Do you think Mommy would like that?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, here I can.
Okay, World War II. I think they want you to expound on it, Connor, not just write World War II.
No.
During World War II, great-grandma, my great-grandma...
Wasn't that funny that I jumped into the... Looks like it's all done. And it's that.